The way we consume content has undergone a significant transformation. The days are gone when scheduled TV programming dictated our viewing habits. Today, the power to choose what to watch and when to watch it lies in the hands of the viewer. This shift is evident in the rising popularity of live streaming, a medium that allows instant global access to content. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Analytics Insight podcast, where we talk about the ever evolving tech space. And I'm your host, Priya Dialani. In the rapidly evolving digital landscape, live streaming has surged to the forefront, becoming an indispensable tool for events ranging from global conferences to even intimate concerts. As we peer into the next 5 years, the trajectory of live streaming is poised for even more groundbreaking shifts, primarily driven by advancements in artificial intelligence. So let's welcome Meghna Krishna, Group Chief Revenue Officer at Videoverse, a technology startup that is helping Indian and global broadcasters to increase their viewership. Hi Meghna, how are you doing?
I'm well, Priya. Thank you so much for having me here.
Great, it's a pleasure to have you with us on our podcast. So, let's start by telling our listeners what exactly is Videoverse. What are some specific solutions that the company offers, or any particular specialization the company deals into?
So, we all watch sports, we all watch a lot of television programming. But the way the trend is these days, no one wants to watch an 8-hour one day international or even a 4-hour T20 or a 2-hour football match. They want to know what has happened, and especially everyone's got a very busy routine. So what our technology does is we take large content, we create snippets out of it, and it's completely an AI based product that creates small short form content for viewers to watch, whether our customers can share it on their social media, on their own platforms, or any other avenue that they might have. And what our technology does is, using AI, it finds out exactly what are the important key moments, and it publishes it automatically without any human intervention. We also allow advertise and sponsor information. You can add logos, you can add a lot of graphics, you can translate. So we allow for localization and regionalization of the content as well.
Great. I'm so glad to know that localization and regionalization is also a part of your growth development strategy. And I think that's very essential, keeping in mind the access to global content that is increasing. And I think while we have discussed about the company, we would also like to know more about yourself. You have a proven track record of over 2 decades of running successful businesses while also building and developing teams from scratch. So if you could tell us about your journey till date, your role and contribution towards the company.
Well, I started my career way back when. I won't tell you the exact year. It'll give away my age. However, worked across 3 continents. I started my career in the US with Walmart.com when Walmart.com was just coming up, setting up their business and strategy. Then moved on, came to India and set up and then worked with Home Shop 18. I was the founding team member of Home Shop 18, where we set up the entire retail and it was one of the first omni-channel platforms in India. From there, I moved to Europe, where I was working with an online retailer again, setting up their distribution, global distribution across the world. Expanded that to about 48 countries, and then India called me back. So I came back here, worked and traveled for a bit, and then found my calling and came across this really great technology. At that time, the company was known as Touch. Really found the technology very interesting. The business was just growing. We had one customer at the time, joined them about 3.5, almost 4 years ago now, and built up their entire sales, partnerships, marketing, strategy teams. From one person, I was the first person to join in sales. We now have about a 45-person team globally, which I lead.
Well, quite a journey, Meghna. Thank you for sharing that with us. Quite inspiring and impressive, I must say, contributing you for more of a versatile roles that you have played across your journey. So, initially you mentioned about artificial intelligence. I think when we're talking about artificial intelligence, at its core, it's using computers to imitate human thinking and decision making. And I think while technology is still a ways away from the independent personalities we have seen in science fiction, sometimes also referred to as generative AI, which we are already experiencing right now, the computational power of these systems is enabling AI to tackle challenges that human could not before. Probably, one example could be some complex calculations, for example. So, when we're talking about, live streaming, I want to understand what are your views on the use of artificial intelligence in live streaming and broadcasting?
See, what happens today is the consumer or your audience does not have the patience that they had earlier. If you remember, the highlight videos of a cricket match would come a day later. The match would end at 8 p.m. or 6 p.m. and the next day you would see the highlights. But today, in 24 hours, the life of that sport content is already gone. So what AI can do, it's not about imitating human behavior, it's about imitating repetitive human behavior. It's about predicting or being able to figure out if there is something that has a pattern. So what AI can do in maybe 6 seconds, it would take a human many more hours, and that is the only thing. So it brings in efficiency, just like a computer did about 30-40 years or odd years ago. You stopped kept keeping journals and registers, right? You kept stop keeping ledgers because the computers could do it faster. Today, similar way, I think AI is there to assist a human being, not replace a human being.
Well, yes, I agree with you. And I think any technology that can help cut down immense hours of workload of a human and also brings efficiency is so important in today's modern business landscape. I think when you mention about, that artificial intelligence is not here to replace humans, but more to assist them. I think there is also an immense value in the computational power of these machines. Now, they can simply process large quantities of information quicker than the human mind can. So, this gives AI the ability to go through great volumes of video much quicker than humans, and as a result, can make more accurate observations and also take decisions quickly. And when we're talking about AI, I think another technology, which is a subset of artificial intelligence called as machine learning, is sometimes used interchangeably with AI. But that's not true because ML is actually a very narrow subset of AI and is also focused on independent learning. So, how does Videoverse incorporates machine learning technology into its platform, and how does this empower content creators to maximize their video content in real time?
So basically, ML is at the core of AI, right? Because if the machines don't learn how to recognize patterns, they cannot create content out of it. So, for example, um, a player hits a six. Now, with machine learning, we've taught our machines to understand when a ball is a six and when is it a four. So if it touches the rope, it is a four. If it does not touch the rope, it's a six. So based on that, the machine has learned that this is now a six. So now it picks up that content and it publishes it and it sends that content forward for processing. Now post that, the AI comes in and the algorithms come in, and then they create content on whether it was an important four, it was a match winning four. So there's a lot of content that's sitting on top of the machine learning to create the AI, to create the content. However, all said and done, the machine learning or the AI cannot replace the creativity that humans bring in. So, if a broadcaster uses our technology, even then they use humans to come and edit and create, make a storyline, for example, out of it. Though we are trying to work on storytelling and AI based storytelling as well, but that is also going to be limited. Just like ChatGPT is limited to the content that is published already on the internet or the World Wide Web, same way AI is limited to what is already out there as of now.
Yeah, true. I think when we're talking about any such technology, I think, and even if you're talking about artificial intelligence, I think we are, while leveraging it, but I think we'll see more such capabilities and more developments in this space. And but I think it's very fascinating to see how these machines and how these algorithms can create content and majorly in real time also, which was like a distant dream a few years back. I think when we're talking about Videoverse, the company is created has created an ecosystem of smart video editing tools using artificial intelligence and machine learning. And as in when we are seeing the rise in demand for high quality content and as well as to meet the tight deadlines, I think smart tech has become a game changer, enabling professionals to work more efficiently and creatively. So this innovative technology empowers video creators with powerful tools to produce probably captivating materials, reach a wider audience, and also stay competitive in an ever evolving market. I think, it justifies with the point you mentioned that the technology is not here to replace humans, but it's more to assist them and also help them focus on more on the creativity. And like you said, that you're also working on, AI-based storytelling. So, what benefits do broadcasters or content creators experience by using a Videoverse platform, tool, specifically the AI and ML-driven one? And if you can also share some case studies and success metrics.
So the biggest use case is obviously marketing and enhancing consumer engagement. So every broadcaster, every person who's got rights to any content is looking to get more and more engagement from their customers, right? That is their primary reason for using or publishing content. Now if someone else publish, there's this constant race for who will publish or who will get this content out the fastest. Now, with humans, you can only maybe produce in an hour, you produce 6 to 10 clips. But with AI, you can create a lot more content and a lot more personalized content. And I'll give an example. For example, I might have a favorite player, say Virat Kohli, or you might have a favorite player, say Rohit Sharma. Now, when you come online, you want to see clips from your favorite player, while I want to see clips from my favorite player. Videoverse technology, you can create highlights that are player specific, that are team specific, that are event specific. So you want to see all the sixes, we can create those highlights. So you can create a lot more content that can then fulfill the requirements of your customers or your audience. And you can do it faster than everybody else. So in my opinion, if someone, a broadcaster or a rights holder, is not using AI, they're already behind in the race.
Yeah, true. I think that definitely makes a lot of sense, and especially when we are living in a dynamic and a competitive business, so it's so important to be at the forefront of these technologies because eventually they're helping you to gain an advantage, a competitive edge, and also help you to boost your efficiency. So it's more like a power to your engine that these technologies bring in. But also on the other side, I think there are a lot of other aspects also when we're talking about these technologies. Now, I think the integration of generative AI in the media and entertainment industry has introduced a spectrum of ethical implications demanding more careful evaluation. Now, the challenge of originality and attribution arises as generative AI blurs lines between human and artificial creativity and prompting the need for more clear guidelines on crediting the AI generated content. So, privacy considerations, I think, are looming large in image and video generation. They are demanding strict guidelines to respect individuals' privacy right. And there are also other commercial concerns, privacy concerns, location concerns. I think different aspects are come into picture. And especially when we have these deep fake videos coming in, so it's kind of more that how can these technologies can be leveraged, but also keep the trust of users and consumers intact. So I want to understand how do you ensure ethical integration of these technologies at a Videoverse and also balance the innovation and privacy aspects.
So I think that's a choice that a person makes, right? Your same skills, even as humans, our strengths are our biggest weaknesses. So I think it's you how you choose to utilize the skills and the tools you have at your behest. And at Videoverse, we work with only rights holders. We are very clear. We are a technology provider. We do not publish any content on our own. We take the content that the rights holders have and then create shorter content out of that. So we are very clear. We've chosen to do things in an ethical way. We make sure that we only create content that the our customers have rights to, and we do not use our technology to create fake videos or any or use it in the incorrect manner. So for us, it's very important. We've gone through all the audits that are required. We're ISO compliant. We have InfoSec compliant. So for us, compliances mean a lot, and we stick to very strict rules and guidelines that have been set up for us.
Right. I think, I was about to ask about, the new regulations that have come into picture. It's not new. I think GDPR was introduced back in 2018, and since then, we have been trying to understand these regulations. And a lot of companies and industries were still reluctant to comply with them. But I think, with like you mentioned, that it's probably a choice. But with these regulations coming into picture, I think it has become more like a necessity to comply with these regulations. But do you also think that while the compliance is also one of the hurdles in terms of maintaining privacy.
I don't think I understand. What do you mean compliance is a hurdle in maintaining privacy?
I mean, there are a lot of companies who think that compliance and complying with the regulations is altogether a different ball game when it comes to running a business. So is it something that people saw complying with these regulations more of a challenge? So I want to
Of
understand,
course.
does that?
It took us almost a year and a half and three
Yeah,
agencies working with us to make sure that we have all the right processes set up. But then, I mean, you would not want to work with a business that does is not compliant either, right?
right.
That's just, it's just part of the game. You have to be compliant, especially working in a global scenario. There's no choice but to be compliant. And I understand that it's difficult, and I understand it's time taking, but it's just one of those things you have to do. I think if you don't, it's like saying, my kid is 16, I don't want to send him to college, will take 4 years for him to study and then actually get some skills. You have to go through the requirements, you have to comply, and you have to understand what it takes to be compliant in order to be able to, in order to be a successful business.
Yeah, truly well said, and thank you for sharing that, Meghna. When we're talking about generative AI, I think back then when we're talking about creativity, of course, like humans were still and they will be creative. But what if you could create your own movie, a song, or a book with just a few clicks? What if you could collaborate with your favorite artists, celebrities, or even influencing influencers without even meeting them? So I think this all is happening because thanks to Gen AI, all of this is possible. But it's also changing and transforming the video editing and production processes as well. It's giving more benefits to content creators and viewers and even the recommendation systems. So I want to understand from you, how do you think generative AI is transforming video analysis and editing, and in any ways if you're using Gen AI at Videoverse?
So we are, like I said, we're building a storytelling tool, which is obviously using Gen AI. We are using Gen AI to do the localization and regionalization, as I mentioned before. I know we all say that Gen AI is going to change the way video editing or the way the content creators create content. But we also realize that because of Gen AI, the volume of content, because anybody can, you and I can create content today, right? I mean, you obviously do create a lot of content, but I'm not a content creator at heart, and I can very easily create content now using Gen AI. The tools at our behest have made us smarter, have made us more efficient. However, I still feel that there are only that many videos or that much content that'll go viral or that will resonate with others. To create that content, you still need a human creative mind. You still need to be better than others. If everybody is using the same Gen AI tools, the content's going to start looking the same very soon. Now, how do you differentiate and how do you create something that stands out? And that'll always be a human, it will require a human touch.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the human creativity is something that has unlimited potential, and even with the combination of technology like artificial intelligence or generative AI, I think you still will more have more success rates when you're combining that with your own creativity. So I think that's important. And while we all are leveraging these tools and these new emerging technologies, it's very important as to how you can enhance your creativity so that it can help you stand out. Now, moving ahead, I think while we're talking about generative AI, artificial intelligence, there are many broadcasters and media organizations who are using generative AI or artificial intelligence for their daily operations. But I think most of them, like probably small scale organizations, are not yet reached that level where they think that, oh, I think yeah, we can adopt AI or deploy AI because it offers these immense benefits to us. So one of the thing is because they feel that AI adoption is difficult because somehow it requires the organizations to change the way they think about systems and human machine interaction. And for this reason, I think we still haven't reached the level where we have crossed a mass adoption rate that way. So I think it's a lot about your thinking and your perspective as well. But apart from that, I want to understand what are certain challenges that you face in the industry or at the company level, and how do you intend to overcome them?
So, Priya, the interesting thing is that the challenges we faced 2.5 years ago are very different from the challenges we face now. 2.5 years ago, we were told you sound too good to be true. That those are exact words from our potential customers, like how can AI do all of this? But I think generative AI changed a lot of that. When people actually had those tools at in their hands, they realized that AI is actually capable of doing what we say it's capable of doing. And coming back to what you said about small organizations not adopting AI faster, I feel it's different. I feel it's the opposite, because the smaller organizations that do not have the manpower, that did not never had the manpower to create large volumes of content, are adopting AI because for them it's not about letting people go or changing their ways of doing things. It's about doing things they were never able to do before. So for us, we work with these small youth organizations in South Africa, in Southern Europe, and in different parts of the world, because earlier they could not publish the content. What our technology gives them is the possibility to now publish content and actually get their players, their teams names out there, for their parents, for their friends, for their families to be able to see, which they could not do earlier because they just could not, they didn't have the manpower, they didn't have the resources to be able to do that. So for me, I feel that some of these smaller organizations that never could do it before are adopting it faster. The larger organizations are difficult. They're harder to move because of there's so many decision makers. They already have a team that's been doing it for years. They're set in their ways. For them to adopt a new way of doing things is slightly harder. So for us, it's about telling them that you're not asking you to reduce your resources. We're not asking you to let your people go. It's about making them more efficient, making or having them do more creative work rather than just the manual task of create or selecting clips. AI can do that now. Spend your team's time on actually being creative and publishing content that will stand out.
Yeah, I think I agree with, yesterday I was having this conversation where we discussed about that, the users or customers or probably even, enterprises wait for a couple of years till they see that any new technology has proven to be effective. So I think that happened the same with you when you said that, your customers said that it's too good to be true. So I think it takes time for people to have or, trust in any technology, while we on the other hand of course, do believe that these technologies are definitely helpful and they eventually help in increasing the user experience as well. But I think that's one of a very primary and a very basic challenge that I guess each organization would be facing in terms of deploying AI and how they're creating those solutions and selling this to users. But eventually, I think in the years to come, we'll see that this technology is tightly intertwined with all our daily activities, and it will be more like a powerful weapon reshaping the media and entertainment experiences as well. So, having said that, I want to understand any trends that you think might take over in the coming years in terms of AI or video creation, or and how does Videoverse stay ahead of the curve in terms of these technological advancements?
So for us, it's very important to constantly evaluate and analyze and see where the market is going. So obviously, trends like AR, VR, the XRs are coming in, where it's not just about watching a video, but it's about the experience. So it's about interactivity. It's about being able to understand the players. So today, the way we watched a game was we watched a game, we enjoyed it. But today, the Gen Z wants to know what's happening behind the scenes, what's happening in the dressing rooms, what's the exact scores and statistics of each player. So we're seeing a lot of data driven technologies coming in, where a lot of analysis is being offered. Then the like I said, AR VR, where you can actually be in your living room but have an experience like you're sitting in this stadium, because people will have less and less time to go out. People want to with post COVID, I think people have become homebodies and they want to spend more and more time with the family, and now you can have that experience. You can have that stadium like experience sitting in your house. That is going to pick up, and that is picking up. A lot of companies that have already started to do that. The VR, the new VR modules have come in. So all that's going to happen. Your all of it coming together with regionalization, localization, like I said, personalization of content. You watch the content you like, while I watch the content I like. The advertisers being able to target for sports fans especially, the tickets, the merchandise, meeting your players, all of that happening while you're sitting at home. All those are trends that are not going to come but have already to some extent come in.
Well, yes, I think we already seen those trends coming, and I think we'll see more advancements in terms of AR and digital twins and any such and more such technologies that will be shaping how we are enjoying content. So I think as we look towards the future, it's clear that artificial intelligence will play a pivotal role in shaping the evolution of live streaming. Like you said, from personalizing viewer experiences to even streamlining production process and enhancing the immersive experience. I think these technologies are set to transform live events in ways we are just beginning to imagine. So, as these technologies continue to mature, the potential for innovative applications in live streaming is definitely boundless. It is promising a future where they are more engaging, accessible, and even efficient than ever before. So, I think in the next 5 years will undoubtedly be a period of a more exciting growth and innovation which will transform live streaming, of course, driven by artificial intelligence and also some data driven systems. Well, thank you so much, Meghna. It was a pleasure having you with us on a podcast. I think we explored some interesting angles in terms of video creation, personalizing experiences, and how different technologies like AI and AR and XRs are going to transform live events and viewing experience.
Thank you so much, Priya. It was a pleasure being here with you. I hope I was able to answer your questions, but look forward to the podcast.
Yes, definitely, Meghna. It was insightful enough, and I'm sure our listeners are going to enjoy listening to it. Thank you so much. Well, this is for our listeners. Stay tuned for upcoming podcasts, and you can view and listen all our previous podcasts on Spotify and other leading platforms. Thank you.